The grand diplomatic hall of the Galactic Consul sprawled across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian floor, its vaulted ceilings disappearing into artificial starlight. Representatives from 400 species mingled in clusters, their translators humming softly as they negotiated treaties, trade agreements, and territorial disputes. The air shimmered with holographic displays and the scent of 1,000 different atmospheres carefully balanced by environmental regulators. Luna walked through the crowd with practiced ease, her simple gray uniform deliberately understated. No medals adorned her chest, no rank insignia decorated her shoulders. She had learned long ago that the most powerful people in any room rarely needed to announce themselves. Her dark eyes scanned the assembly, cataloging faces, noting tensions, reading the subtle body language that transcended species barriers. She was early for the summit, as always. The Human Confederation's supreme commander never liked to make an entrance when she could observe instead. Near the eastern archway, a commotion erupted. Luna's attention snapped toward the disturbance, her military training overriding diplomatic protocols. A group of Vakrian soldiers, their crystalline exoskeletons gleaming under the hall's lights, surrounded what appeared to be a human merchant. The man clutched a data tablet to his chest, his face pale with fear. Luna changed direction, moving through the crowd like a shadow. The humans think they can walk anywhere now, one Vakrian sneered, his translator rendering his clicking mandibles into harsh consonants. Your species has been part of the Consul for only 50 years. You haven't earned the right to breathe the same air as your betters. The lead Vakrian, Cameron noted his rank insignia denoted him as a captain, loomed over the merchant. His compound eyes reflected fractured images of his prey. This section is reserved for senior delegations. You lesser species should know your place. Luna stepped forward, her voice calm but carrying effortlessly across the marble. Is there a problem here, Captain? Cameron turned, his segmented head swiveling to face her. His optical receptors scanned her plain uniform, finding no decorations, no obvious rank, just another human, unremarkable and insignificant. His mandibles spread in what his species considered a dismissive gesture. Nothing that concerns you, female. Return to your designated area before you embarrass yourself further. The surrounding delegates began to notice. Conversations died, heads turned. A Sicilian ambassador's tentacles curled with anticipation. A Mordak's diplomat's eyes widened with recognition, and he quickly began backing away from the scene. Luna didn't move. I'll ask again, Captain. What seems to be the problem? Cameron's exoskeleton darkened with irritation, the crystalline structure pulsing with bioluminescent anger. You dare question me? Do you know who I am? I am Captain Cameron Shikstar of the Vakrian Imperial Guard, 3rd caste, decorated in 17 campaigns. He took a step toward Luna, using his considerable height advantage. The Vakrians were a warrior species, proud of their military traditions spanning millennia. Humans were newcomers, barely worthy of notice in the grand scope of galactic civilization. I have personally subjugated 4 species, Cameron continued, his voice rising. I have commanded fleets in the Outer Rim conflicts. I have stood in the presence of the Galactic Emperor himself. And you, a human without even the dignity of proper rank markings, dare to interrupt me. Luna's expression didn't change. The merchant, let him go. Cameron's patience, never abundant, shattered. With a swift motion, he shoved Luna backward, his chitinous hand striking her shoulder with enough force to send a normal human sprawling. Luna took one step back to absorb the impact, then stood perfectly still. The grand hall fell completely silent. The Mordak's diplomat had his face equivalent in his tentacles. A Pelian observer began recording frantically. Even the hall's environmental systems seemed too quiet, as if the building itself held its breath. Cameron suddenly became aware of the silence. He looked around, confused by the expressions of horror, shock, and in some cases, grim satisfaction on the faces surrounding them. The other Vakrian soldiers had unconsciously moved away from him, their exoskeletons pale with what might have been fear. Do you know, Luna said quietly, her voice steady as steel, what the punishment is for assaulting a superior officer during a diplomatic summit? Cameron's mandibles clicked uncertainly. Superior? You wear no rank. You display no honors. You are nothing. No, said a deep voice from the crowd. Ambassador Telwick, Earth's senior diplomat, pushed through the gathering crowd, his face ashen. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Luna raised one hand, stopping him. Her eyes never left Cameron's fractured reflection in his compound eyes. I am Supreme Commander Luna Rodriguez, Terran Defense Forces, Fleet Admiral of the Human Confederation, and the commanding officer of every human military asset in this galaxy. She paused, which, as of 6 months ago, includes the joint task forces we share with the Vacrian Empire under the Consul Mutual Defense Agreement. Cameron's exoskeleton went from dark purple to pale white in seconds. That makes you, Luna continued, her voice soft and terrible. My soldier. The Vacrian captain's legs seemed to lose their strength. Around them, the implications rippled through the crowd. The humans, those upstart newcomers, had not only gained a seat at the consul table but had done so with such military efficiency that they now commanded portions of other species' forces. Luna's lack of visible rank wasn't humility, it was the confidence of someone whose power was so absolute that advertisement was unnecessary. Supreme Commander, Cameron stammered, dropping to his knees in the traditional Vacrian gesture of absolute submission, his warriors following suit. I did not know. I did not realize. No, Luna interrupted. You didn't because you saw a human woman in a plain uniform and decided she wasn't worth the effort of basic courtesy. She looked down at him, and for the first time her voice carried an edge of anger. You, Captain, have just learned why humanity rose so fast in the consul ranks. We don't judge based on decorations or displays. We judge based on competence, character, and how you treat those you consider beneath you. She turned to the merchant who was staring at her with wide eyes. Are you all right? Why yes, Supreme Commander. He managed. Luna nodded, then looked back at Cameron. Report to your commanding officer. I'll be filing a formal incident report, and I believe your Emperor will want to discuss your understanding of the chain of command. Dismissed. As Cameron and his soldiers retreated in disgrace, the hall slowly came back to life. Conversations resumed, but now they were about what they'd just witnessed. The human Supreme Commander, who had walked among them unrecognized, had just reminded the entire Galactic Consul of a fundamental truth. Power that needs to announce itself isn't power at all. Ambassador Telwick approached Luna cautiously. Commander, that could have gone very badly. Luna smiled, a small, private expression. Telwick, it went exactly as badly as it needed to. Sometimes the best diplomacy is reminding people that mercy is a choice, not a weakness. She glanced around the hall, meeting the eyes of various delegates who quickly looked away. I think the message was received. As she walked away toward the summit chambers, the crowd parted before her like water before a ship. Behind her, whispers spread through the assembly in 400 languages, all telling the same story. The humans had arrived, and they were not to be underestimated.